Welcome everyone to episode 18 of Seeing Off the New Ball, a Bergvliet Cricket Club original. What an absolute barnstorm of a weekend for the club. We saw our ones, twos and fours in action. The twos and the fours playing out the rest of their league campaign. And we saw the ones with their last league match, but an absolute amazing day out at Newlands on Sunday with bit of a double silverware in the club coffers this season. Absolutely amazing time for the club, and we've got a lot to speak about. We've got Kenny joining us. Kenny, do you want to just reintroduce yourself with that new haircut?
Morning all. Well, bet's a bet, so I had to do it because we obviously won. So yeah, and look, I was over the curly mess anyway, so it was time.
You were over the skullet.
Yes.
The skullet. And just remind me, the bet was with your roommates, right?
Well, actually, I just said on the group that if the ones win at Newlands, I shave my head. So. Okay. And they fulfilled their side of the contract, so, it was only fair that I fulfilled my side.
100%. So we joined by a new guest today. The left arm through and around maestro. Is he bowling spin? Is he bowling seam? Nobody knows. It's Timmy G, the Titan stalwart. How are you doing, Tim?
I am fantastic. Nervous. Feels like a job interview. I mean, I had to put on a shirt this morning, but...
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Probably not in the Titans.
Oh, fighting speak. Get that man in yellow. And we're joined by returning guests, Marcelina Gaffley. How are you doing, Marci?
Yeah, I'm good, Greg. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good, thanks.
Lovely.
Just midday here on my side. It's 32 degrees, so it's a good day over here. And you can probably see on your screen, the man has still got the Newlands glow on him. Daniel Steyer, how are you doing after a double league win, or a double trophy winning season with the ones?
Fantastic. It's difficult to actually describe what a season it's been, and the feeling and the emotions. It's still a little bit surreal, especially after Newlands. But yeah, top of the world at the moment, eh?
Have you taken that shirt off or not?
Yeah, I probably should wash it by now.
What I don't know about you guys, but what I enjoyed was Daniel sending a video at what I think was after midnight on Monday morning, technically, of him watching the game back and basically commentating. Not that he's just watched it and lived it, but watching the live stream and commenting. I did enjoy that. Daniel? What was did you have McDonald's there, or what was your post evening spoil?
Actually, so that was actually after Newlands, and we went to Madeira. Yeah. So I actually ate something at Madeira, got home at about, I don't know, some ungodly hour, and then cracked open another beer and watched the whole match again.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Well, you were actually drinking wine, so...
Yeah, well, it started off with beer, then I finished off with wine, eh?
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Very cool.
It
was just very fancy. That's all I'm saying. It looked very fancy with your wine and then watching the replay.
I'm very cultured, eh? I'm very cultured. Like a nice red wine.
Probably not too much work.
That's what you would say, not a red wine, eh?
Probably not too much work happening on Monday for a lot of the Newlands boys and a lot of the club, to be honest, because it sounded like an absolute day. But yes, a lot to get through in this episode. We're going to wrap up the fours. They were in action. They had two fixtures this past weekend. There's a lot of Newlands chat on the go. So we've got Timmy, G and Marci to take us through your two games. How did your Saturday game go, guys? Marci, starting with you.
Saturday, we played against the Highlands away. Arrived at the field. There was a soccer match happening. Just like a different environment for some of us. And played on a synthetic wicket. And yeah, I think we started off. What were we doing?
Batting.
we batted. Yeah, we batted first, and yeah, I think our top order again just let us down.
Yeah.
I think that's I don't know if that's a Bergvliet thing, but yeah, that's what happened.
Well, put the knife in there. We don't have any top order batsmen from the Titans in this pod at the moment, so turn the knife. How much did they give you to defend?
Okay, so we actually we batted first, so they bowled us out for 122, I think. Yeah, 122, yes. And we needed to defend that.
Got you. Tim, did you open the bowling?
Did I? No, I didn't.
It's all a bit of a haze. I mean, you played 2 games in a weekend. I mean, everybody's a mess. We got a Newlands hangover in the middle of this.
It was Newlands, you know.
It was Newlands.
Yeah, celebrating the last Saturday of the season, leaving the club at some time. I could see the clock, but I didn't know what the time was. Woke up dry, decided, you know what, let's put some clothes on and go to Newlands. Did that again.
Yes.
Left Madeiras at some time. And unfortunately, I was working the next day, so...
Oh, you were working on Monday?
Yeah.
Lovely. Oh, and then you roll that straight into Tuesday's Titans match, which by all accounts was a lot better performance from the boys on Tuesday. I mean, what, the bowlers just rinsed through the Oppo for next to nothing.
We actually started with one of our keepers, Nabil.
Oh yes, he got how many 6 did he get? 3, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
no wickets.
No wickets. Okay, I was on a different Thirsties group chat then. No, I'm joking. Go for it.
Yeah, you open the bowling, start with a maiden over against 12-year-olds, but we don't age is just a number in this league. A match is a match and age is an age.
Yes, and at this late stage in the season, you either, if you are still playing, you're going to be playing against 12-year-olds, roping in nephews, cousins, just to get some fixtures with a lot of clubs, which thankfully we haven't been in that position this season. But so what, you guys just a big resounding win to close off the Titans season?
Yeah.
If
I look at the 2 games, Saturday was typical 3C umpiring. We had someone mid-game put his earphones in and watch something on YouTube. And we called for a nick. We appealed. He's looking at his phone. There's his earphones in. And he's like, no, I've got eyes. I don't need to hear the nick. But he's not even watching.
So what you have to do there, what you've got to do there, Tim, is just appeal as loudly as possible. Because the more convinced you guys are, the more chance you've got of him giving it out. Even though he hasn't seen shit, it's the best way to try and get a dismissal. Like, I had that happen actually in action cricket back in the day, where guys would sit BBMing or whatever. I'm talking about, this is obviously back in the day, so you know,
BBMing. What is that? Is that a TV program? Is that a network? No, I'm just trying to go for it.
It's like Mix It. It's like Mix It, you know.
Jeez.
And I mean, we realized with this one umpy that the only way we get wickets is to appeal as loud as possible, because he never watched. He would literally sit on his phone, and if you appealed loud enough, he'd be like, that sounded pretty convincing. Yeah, that's got to be out. Yeah, out. And I mean, the batsman would be like, what? I didn't... What? How? How about out? What am I out for?
Listen, it's 3CA. We don't have
Tim,
to walk in.
You might be onto something here, because we'll put it in the pod. Producer Peter will put it in the pod. But so what you're saying is that the umpire that umpired at Newlands on Sunday had his earphones in for Matthew Armstrong's nick off. Is that what you're saying?
I'll tell you what, I was there, and he was wasn't very close. There was a lot of daylight between bat and ball. So I don't know what headphones he had on, but yeah, it was a bad one, eh? It was a pretty bad one.
It was a bad one. I was chatting with my mother at the time who was watching the game, and she was unhappy to see her son so unhappy, which after hitting deep in the fields, after hitting a boundary. Yeah, unlucky on that. So good win for the Titans to close off your season. How would you, Marci, starting with you, how would you rate your 22-23 season? In a few words, how's it been for you?
It's been I won't say consistent. It's been on par. I've played seconds, I played thirds, and in the Titans. So I was moved around. So settling in with the team was a bit wasn't easy for me. I was just caught up, bowl, and I just put my best out there to take wickets or to restrict runs. But all around, it was a fantastic season. I just feel that my presence also contributed a lot to the teams as well.
Which teams?
Yeah, 100%. Well, you, Marcelo, you scored quite a few games for the ones as well.
About to say.
So I mean, your contributions this season across the board have been fantastic. I mean, you've bowled beautifully. I watched you bat a couple of weeks ago where we almost got us over the line. So yeah, major contributions in all different areas.
Yes.
So it's been great having you, mate.
Yeah, thanks.
It has been. And Marci, take me through your when you're not playing and you're scoring, for instance. Take me through what's going in that cooler box. Are we on Castlelight courts there? And how many are we? Do we start with with 3?
So you say
what's in that cooler box?
So essentially, if I'm scoring,
Yes.
I tend not to have a beer while scoring. Okay. If it's for example, first team, I won't do that. Second team won't do that. Third team, I will start. When it's the first drinks break, I'll have my first beer then.
Nice.
And then just gradually, move along with that.
In that camping chair with the cooler box.
Yeah.
Lovely. Timmy G, how was your 22-23 season in a nutshell?
Well, it's been pretty consistent, I would say. Obviously, what I do is I calculate how many games I've played, how many wickets, and I tally it all up. So ended up with the same amount of wickets I did last season.
Okay.
One call up to the 2s last season, one call up to the 3s this season, and it's just been very consistent. And that's all I need to do as an opening bowler. I just need to be consistent and bowl where they tell me to bowl. I just wish
that was a very measured response. Crikey. Very measured response. I thoroughly enjoyed it. No, but jokes aside.
I like how simple you keep it as well,
yes,
which is
100%.
Great. Just short, simple. Opening bowler, got to do my job.
Thanks. I'll remember next time.
Sometimes he doesn't know what is bowling.
we would have had some season-ending stats to flash on screen, but Adam hasn't furnished us with those stats as yet. So how many wickets did he end up on this season?
16.
16. So a good, solid, consistent showing.
Yes.
And that run rate, I think, will be a testament to how tight you bowl at the top of the innings. Any notable sticks stand out to you?
Oh yeah, definitely. First game for the threes. Dot's one-handed catch, and three score for the
caught and bowled.
maiden. Yeah.
Jeez.
And ever since then, my hand hasn't been the same. So I've got a little mark to show.
Well done. Well done. So, yeah, I mean, that's the Titans season. That's the Bergvliet season. Done and dusted. Are you boys ready for the awards? Are we going suits for the award show? What's the story?
I'm going to wear a tie.
You're going to wear a tie. Is that the marker?
Yeah.
Okay, a tie. Marci, surely a grey suit. I'm seeing a grey suit from you with a red tie.
I'm still deciding, I'm still deciding. I might come in my whites.
Well, I know what Daniel Steyer's wearing. He's wearing his full blues from Newlands. I don't think he would have washed it by that stage.
Yeah, 100%.
So that is a big reminder for the awards evening coming up in a week or two's time. So do what you need to do. It's going to be an absolute amazing occasion. I would love to be there to just soak in all the greatness from this past season. So put your name down, get your tickets bought and paid for, invite your missus along. It's going to be an absolute amazing occasion. But let's move on to the threes. Unfortunately, they were all this past weekend, so a bit of a anticlimactic end to their season in 3A. Points shared with Rondebosch on Saturday, and then their Durbanville game was called on the Tuesday. But what do you guys think of the Thirsties season in 3A this past season? Daniel, I'll start with you.
Yeah, goodness, they've been consistent. I think they've certainly been one of the teams of the club as far as that consistency is concerned, as far as the Hearst is concerned. Great bunch of guys. Yeah, I mean, I can't say a bad thing about them, really. They've been fantastic.
And then they're playing in a very, very tough league. Some might say that the 3A is more possibly tougher than Reserve G. That's a hot take. That's a hot take.
If you go through the teams that they play against, like the Durbanvilles, the Rondebosches, the Cape Towns, it's all the big guys. So, yeah, tough league. And they've done really well in that league. So, good on them.
I mean, it's like I said before, our one side was in 3A up until a couple of years ago. Mm. It's not a Mickey Mouse league without doubt. I mean, I'm not sure about the 1G sort of thing. That is a very hot take. I'm not sure, but I mean, I'll leave that.
Reserve G.
Reserve G. Sorry. I mean, I'll leave that with the more knowledgeable Greg in terms of the rankings of the different things. But yeah, I think it's just from our side. I think the threes did really well to hold their own in a league which, like I said, I mean, when your Thirsties are playing the league that your ones used to play, you know you're doing something right as a club.
100%.
You know.
So what you're trying to tell me here, Kenny, is that Lloyd Bernard needs to return in the 23-24 season to lead our 3A side to the 3A title. Is that what he's saying?
Push them. Yes, or push them up.
Big call that, eh?
Although, I mean, given his results, which we'll get to recently, I think he's definitely bought himself another 2-3 years of seam-up in the ones and twos. So,
well,
yeah,
we can segue. We can segue onto the twos because they played Mitchell's Plain on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. winning by 4 wickets. One or two of the Mitchells Plain boys played in the Sunday's final at Newlands. But speaking of Lloyd, club captain, a young fifer for the lad.
Yep.
What an unbelievable end to the season for him. Unfortunately, missed out on Newlands, but a fifer, 5 wickets for 26 runs. Really, really great season for him. I'd say, Daniel, remind me, how many caps for the ones did he get?
Quite a few, actually. I might be wrong here, but I think about 5 caps for the ones. So, yeah, a large part of the season.
That's
So 12 games. He played out of 12 games. He played 5 or 6. So like half the season for the ones, something like that. I could be wrong, but it was quite a few games he played.
I think he also was about 5 or 6, and I mean at one stage he was also vice captain, I think, for the ones.
Actually, he captained one game. Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yes. Yes, he got promoted straight to the captaincy.
Yeah.
I recall when Bryden had a hamstring complaint, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's correct. And he got pumped as well. I think he was going to 10 and over in his first 3 overs.
Well, we'll edit that part out. We're trying to build the lad up. No, I'm just joking. No, that's fantastic season for the twos. Ended up with silverware. Peter will put on screen a team shot for the twos. I'm just joking. We don't have a team shot for the twos. Notable performers in that twos outfit: Admire, just narrowly missing out on a 50 at 48 runs. Mark and Brendan DeVette getting a good 30 and 28 respectively. So silverware in the cabinet for the twos, and more silverware for the club this past season in Reserve G. They're going to go up to, Daniel, remind me where they're going.
They are going to go to Reserve F, if I remember correctly.
Reserve F next season. Ladies and gents, that's it. We're going to get on to the ones. A little bit of housekeeping. They did play on Saturday, their last league match. The title secured. They played against Peninsula. Peninsula towards the bottom of the table. They needed a result from this game, Daniel, to save off relegation, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they might still squeak. Well, they might survive a little bit, considering if Makasa and Younger, whoever won or lost in that game. But it's not looking good for them at all. They had to beat us to secure their position to stay in the league. They lost heavily, I might add, to us. So yeah, I think it's not looking too good. And I feel for some of the players. So I know quite a few of them quite well. The captain Stewie, who's seriously deep in the fields, decent cricketer, has been one of their stalwart run scorers for a couple of years, and I kind of fell for him. He was deep in the fields after the game, but he also was one of the guys who kind of chirped us in the first game. I think our first game against him was a T20, and he said, "Welcome to the 1D." And by the time we ended off the season, we said, "Enjoy your season in the 2A." So, yeah,
I mean, that's amazing. You coming into 1D and promptly leaving 1D off to 1C, and they're down to 2A. So no, that's a great. A few more things I'll say on that game against Peninsula. 3 sticks. Where does that leave you in the wicket taking column? You managed to gain some ground on Matty James, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct. I overtook him, so it leaves me at the top of the table. Yeah.
Wow. Well done.
And it's a pity. Yeah, it's a pity because Matty bowled beautifully on Saturday again. Bowled exceptionally well with very little return, which was kind of how I felt the whole season. I thought I bowled really well the whole season, but just didn't get those 3 furs or those 4 furs or even that 5 fur. I still haven't got a 5 fur yet for the club. But where he's been more consistent when it came to that. He's been our best finisher. So I did feel for him. I even Bryden wasn't going to bowl him again. So I said, listen, give him a go. Give him a chance to get a couple of sticks here. I think there was only 2 sticks left. He took one of them. And then I think I think Greg, your brother, took a few sticks.
I was about to say.
The party for Paddy.
Was he bowling leg break?
I don't know what he was bowling, but he bowled well, eh?
Yeah, 2 wickets for 13. A bit of an all-round performance after a very measured 34 of 31 for my younger brother. So let's leave that peninsula. Oh, final thing I'll say on 1D here, boys, is what are your thoughts on going up with Fishhook? They managed to secure promotion.
Mixed feelings there. I think some of the guys feel it's great that they're going up because then we have another 2 or 3 chances to beat them. Mm-hmm. We really want to beat them.
Yes, but unfinished business.
Yeah, that's right. And then also we kind of feel sorry for Khalicha because we felt that they certainly are a better team. We feel we've struggled against Khalicha, but we beat them twice. Once in the semi-finals to get to Newlands, one in a home game. But they were the one game we felt that we genuinely got outplayed. We felt against Fishhook that we weren't ever outplayed against them. We got a couple of rough decisions in the first game, which kind of hampered. Yeah, the man-cad and that sort of thing. So, but we still felt we could defend 140, and we almost did. It went right down to the final over where Lloyd Williams bowled it, and my goodness, it was all sorts of drama there. So we felt we should have won the first game. The second game against Fishhook, well, I mean, the batters didn't really rock up. Again, we bowled really, really well. Restricted them to 160 with the batting lineup we have. Very easy to chase down, and unfortunately got skittled out for under 100. But again, a couple of rough.
So unfinished business.
LBW decisions.
Let's get on to Newlands because unfinished business. Fishhook. It's good to have them up with us in 1C next season. For many of our first team players, it will be a home game for them. Nice and local. For our Fishhook contingent.
I smell a bit of a derby.
Yeah,
I smell a bit of a derby.
Bit of a derby feeling about next season's fixtures for sure. After our 2 losses this past season to them, but boys, let's get on to Newlands. Timmy G, I'll start with you.
Greg, just before we get to Newlands, on Tuesday we had the UCT head coach, I think, of the women's team or the men's team is umpiring.
Yeah.
We go into bat. Luigi almost got man-catted by a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
And she said, her words exactly, I teach them to man-cad.
Sign of the times.
Yeah.
It's sign of the times. It's a method of dismissal. Stay in your crease. We've had a season of it. It's not going away. It might go away. We don't know. It's definitely gets the hair standing off at the back of our neck in terms of getting irritated. But
just remember, life lesson: the bowler doesn't have a cricket bat in his hands, whereas the batsman does.
Yeah, we've seen that with the lane. We know.
Daniel, so Calvin, is that him done? I mean, I imagine it is.
Whoa, big call, hey? I've chatted to Calvin a few times there, and I think it is done. I think he is done, but it's amazing when the bug bites, eh? And I know for me, like my body's broken, And then as soon as there's cricket on TV and I haven't picked up a cricket ball or bat in anger, then I go, ooh, maybe get down to the net, eh? Who can I call? Maybe get Arnie on speed dial or something. So yeah, I'm not too sure there, but I think it is for him.
Yeah.
When he puts his mind to something, he does it. I think he's achieved everything he wanted to achieve. I know
save that for the recording. I know we are recording, but obviously Peter is not going to use this. But I think maybe it was also just he pulled away from the podcast, so I think he had to kind of reshift his time
focus, really.
His focus. So potentially we'll do a little bit of a send off in this pod, thanking him for his time and stuff. But he might be back, but I don't think he'll be back as a ones player. Maybe a mercenary over there.
Yeah. I mean, look, he's done a lot for the club.
Doesn't have to be like
he's influenced not just with bat and ball. I mean, like a genuine club guy, hasn't he been?
Yeah.
I mean, he's made up the song that we all love and play all the time. He's been the fines master. He's just also on the field. He's just loads of gears. Him and Rushdie are phenomenal, actually. I mean, as a bowler, and you're hanging from your Friday, and you got those two on the field just lifting you and wanting to take guys' heads off, and it's phenomenal. So he's actually done a lot. I think he's also had a bit of a say in the kit that I'm wearing now. I think he's also helped a little bit with that. So many off the field stuff he's done for the club. I think Peter, I think he's also helped you out quite a bit as well in the early days of the pod, and also showed a lot of support. So yeah, good. Okay, he's gonna be missed.
Good, Peter. Where are we at the moment? So Peter, so you want to how do you want to do it? Because do you want to screen share the BTS footage in the background while we talk? All right, let's start. All right, boys. Now is the time that we talk about Sunday. We talk about Newlands. We talk about Bergvliet Cricket Club at Newlands, at the home of our South African cricket, I'd say, our spiritual home. What an absolute day out it was. I can just imagine. I was following it obviously on the socials and on the WhatsApp group. We've got some footage that our filmographer savant Peter Creef took, which will detail the behind the scenes. It's also got some fantastic match footage.
No ethics. Oh, there we go. No ethics. Let's go. So, gents, it was an absolute amazing day out. Daniel, you obviously playing in it, but Tim, I'll start with you. How are you feeling on Sunday morning going to the game in your BCC kits? How are the fields?
It's an unreal feeling to see such a big achievement, and you get to be there for the team that's playing. I can't describe it. You have to be there to feel it. I mean, the best feeling for me was running onto Newlands. And any cricketer would say from a young age, they want to run onto Newlands. They want to stand on that pitch and just feel that feeling, I had slops on, and I'm like, I have to do it. Took my slops off and I put my toes on the grass.
Oh, no, that's special. I mean, look at the boys walking out into the field, doing the pitch report. Glorious day. No rain about. Marci, how how's your Sunday? How's your feeling? How are the nerves as you lumbered up for a big day out for the club on Sunday?
Well, I've actually prepared myself during the week as well mentally for this. I chatted with my wife. I said, okay, we need to wear the Bergvliet colors. I gave her my training top
Nice.
and the cap, supporters cap, and I just wore the match cap with my jacket. And yeah, I was so excited I couldn't wait to get to Newlands. We arrived there. I saw the guys standing on the under the oaks. Walked our way across there. No, that was the excitement. I just, like I always mentioned to the guys, the first time I came to Bergvliet, I said that this first team must be in the 1C division. They must start there. And I mean, like I had a lot of faith in the guys. I know them personally. I know their mental state, their excitement like from the guys, I could feel that excitement with them. And just being a supporter and a spectator made me feel part of the team anyway. Each ball that was bowled, each ball they faced, I was there. I was like, wow, it's so. We were standing in the queue to buy beers, and we could view the pitch or the playing area. And I think that ball that Matty James bowled, that guy, I shouted in that thing. I went, yeah! And the people looking here, what's happening? But yeah, the excitement was just phenomenal. It was great. It was great.
What?
I'm really proud.
That's amazing to hear, and what a delivery that was. I mean,
yes.
Sheepers, the boys were pumped when that off stump went flying out of the ground at Newlands.
Yeah.
So the boys came up against Mitchell's Plain in our division. Daniel, how were the 3 games against them this past season? How were how was the banter on field? How did it go?
Yeah, I mean, look, I know one or two of the guys. One of the guys actually I play vets cricket against and with. He's actually also in the Western Province trials, left arm spinner. And they're a good bunch of guys, but they play very hard cricket. Lots of banter on the field when we're batting. Lots of banter off the field when we're bowling.
Yeah.
As a cricket side, they're not too bad. The problem is with them is that once you get past the top 4 batters, and you'll see also at Newlands, that's exactly what happened. Once we got through that top 4, then it was just easy pickings from there, unfortunately for them. Bowling wise, I mean, they've never really troubled us. We put on some big scores against them. It was a bit tricky at Newlands, different kind of pitch conditions for our batters. Calvin felt that it was quite difficult to get the ball away. And Brian also felt it was quite difficult to get the ball away, especially with his weird and bizarre dismissal. But that being said, I thoroughly enjoyed playing against them. Hey,
good showing from Mitchell's Plain, and I mean, to play at Newlands, whatever season you've had, is a great achievement. So well done to them. They are still in the 1D this or next season.
That's right. Yeah.
Just a quick shout out from our side. Mitchell's Plain has always been one of the teams I've really, really enjoyed playing against, because they, like you said, Dan, they're a great bunch of guys. Like, even when we were playing them in 3A, I mean, I didn't grow up in Cape Town, so when I hear going to Mitchell's Plain, it's got this rumor of being this deadly, dangerous place, right? And I'm like nipping myself a bit. We get there, and I mean, the guys were so accommodating. They were like, when we were fielding, they made sure they had 2 guys around our kit just in case something happened. Like, it was phenomenal, to be honest. Like, and every single time I've played Mitchell's Plain, they've always stuck around for a beer afterwards, every single time, no matter what, and not just one beer.
Yeah.
I mean, they end up sometimes like staying as long as the rest of us idiots.
And the facilities are pretty good, Kenny. I mean, we played away at Mitchell's Plain, and they had no covers, and it rained quite heavily. A lot of games throughout the Western Cape got called off, but we played at Mitchell's Plain, rolled the pitch, and got a 35-over game in.
Well done.
So,
yeah.
I mean, the drainage there and the facilities there are probably better than some of the fields we played on the whole season. So,
I mean,
yeah.
So when I played them last at Mitchell's Plain, it was during the drought season. Yeah. All the droughts and stuff like that. And I mean, the pitch was shocking, to be honest. But they were so apologetic. They were like, "There's nothing we could do. We did everything we could in our power." Like they literally apologized for the state of the condition of the pitch, which is not something that you get from other sort of teams. You know, they're just like, "Well, deal with it," kind of thing. They were they were like, "Look, guys, we're sorry. We did everything we could during the week to try to get some water on this, but because it's the drought and it's municipality owned, there was nothing we could do," kind of thing. But sort of going off on a tangent away from Newlands, but so we'll get back to Newlands now. But I just want to say shout out if any of Mitchell's Plains players are watching that. Yeah, great bunch of guys. 100%. Really, a lot of respect for them.
Let's as we see on screen, William Solomon watching in the bleachers there. Let's get on to the batting stats. So Bergvliet, Daniel, remind me, did Bryden win the toss?
No, he actually lost the toss. We were going to bat first anyway. He lost the toss and they put us in, which we thought was hilarious considering our batting lineup and Newlands being a bit of a batting paradise, you know. So, but also knowing, and I said this to the guys, knowing the stats at Newlands, the team batting second, 75% of the time loses. And again, we also saw that for the over 50s World Cup that was played the very next day, where England batted first and South Africa chased, and they lost. So the team batting second finds it very difficult to score, regardless of a low total or chasing a high total. So we thought, great, excellent. Especially
I mean, sorry to interject there, Dan, but yeah, I mean, from my side, I think especially in a final, you want the runs on the board. Because scoreboard pressure is massive, right? I mean, you want runs on, even if it's not, I mean, 130, not the biggest score in a T20 game by any stretch of the imagination, right? But you've still got the runs on the board, which leads to that extra pressure batting second, you know, because now you're sitting there and you maybe play 3 or 4 dot balls and you're like, oh, I've got to get going here because we still need this amount, you know. It starts playing all those mental games. So
yeah, well, that's what helped us. I mean, we played percentage cricket the whole way through. I kept a close eye on that net run rate. So that run rate that they had to require kept going up. Yeah. And Brian and myself, in conjunction with Calvin, we knew dot balls was going to win us this game. And the more dot balls we bowled, and the least amount of extras, we would walk this. So
let's not wrap. Let's talk about the batting before we get onto the bowling. At one stage, we were projecting a score of just over 100. So it really showed that in the middle overs or before the middle overs, that scoring was tough. Calvin definitely stuck around and was of the top order, but 22 of 36 showed that the scoring was tough. There was a bit of adjusting needing for the pitch. But what can we say about the partnership between Aiden and Josh coming in and just giving putting the momentum back in our innings? Aiden top scoring with 40 of 32 and Josh 30 of 24. A few words for that partnership, Dan.
Match winning, 100%. We were at one stage 51 or 52 for 4. Very worried. And these two chaps came in and they didn't exactly belt it around. They just ran very, very well. They were picking up singles at will, putting pressure on the field. And then once the pressure started building, boundaries started coming. So those two dug us out of some serious trouble. And in the end, I feel massive credit to both Aiden and Josh, who I believe helped us win that game. And a big shout out to Alex at the end.
Yes.
Hitting some lusty blows, 13 or 4 balls, just insane. And I think that kind of, you could see Mitchell's Plains' heads dropped there. And I can't tell you how important that was, because I still think 120 would have been tough to defend. It was possible, but it would have been a lot tougher, considering how close they got to that 120 mark. I think Mitchell's Plains made 113. So the 13 runs from Alex from 4 balls was just absolutely pivotal in giving us that momentum going into our fielding and bowling session against Mitchell's Plains.
One thing I'll say on that, on Alex's short but prosperous innings, was that one of the balls that he faced was meant to be the club treasures.
Yes.
The club treasure had one ball to face, and unfortunately, as he was completing the single, there was an overthrow. We're gonna watch a fantastic shot from Alex on the visuals here, and a lusty blow for 6, which definitely came out of the screws. But our club treasure, Struan Ryan, I mean, he's played in, if I'm not mistaken, 3 of the 4 teams this season for the club. He was going to get his moment to face a ball at Newlands. He scampers through for the single, and then an overthrow comes and told to turn around for Alex to take the last ball. I mean, I know it's not about you, and you have to take yourself away from the moment there. But what do you guys think here, Tim? If that was you, what's going through your head?
Single. That's it. Single.
You send him back, hey? You send him back. This is my time. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah. I mean, look, just to be honest, I'm going to get a bit more on the soppy side here, or whatever. But kind of shows just the kind of man the club treasure is, though, putting the club first, no matter what. I mean, the fact he's played for the 3 different teams, and even then, I mean, I was watching that live on Pitch Vision, and I mean, I felt for the guy. I really did. I mean, he came in with like 4 or 5 balls left, and I was like, oh, come on, the club treasure's going to get at least 1 ball. And he just quite happily sprinted through for those 2s. I mean, I think there were 3 2s he ran there or something. Unbelievably selfless batting, to be honest. Even though they didn't face a ball, it was still selfless batting. So
he's actually a selfless individual. I chatted to him actually after the game. I was like, hey, pity about not facing a single ball. And he was like, I batted at Newlands. I had my pads on. I was on the pitch.
That's
good enough for me. And I was like,
yeah,
that just says it all for the man, you know.
Yes.
Just enjoying every moment, regardless of what contribution he makes. And he's made some major contributions, I can tell you. I mean, I can remember the Younger game where, again, we were in a little bit of trouble. He came in and just happily smashed a 30 and got us back on track. You know, just incredible.
And now
great guy.
And no, we love our club treasure. Now we can see the boys limbering up to take on the fielding against, or in the final. So, I mean, 132 on the board. Did you guys feel that was I wouldn't say enough, but were you guys sort of happy at that stage, Daniel?
Yes, we felt we had done enough with the bowlers that we have. We worked really hard on our ground fielding. So yeah, we had good plans. As I said, we just played percentage cricket. We knew dot balls, wickets would come, and that's it. We kept it as simple as we could.
Let's take a
and it showed.
Let's watch the visuals here. There's going to be a fantastic ball coming up from Matthew James. I mean, just a fast bowler's absolute dream coming up in that opening over.
Yeah, in my humble opinion, the ball of the final. In my humble opinion.
Yes, 100%.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, it's a screamer of a Yorker. But, I mean, it kind of takes away actually how he bowled. I mean, if you look at his stats, 1 for 17 and 4 in a T20 final is phenomenal. He bowled, again, for me, he bowled superbly well and was pivotal in the win. Absolutely pivotal. It was the guy who got out, has apparently made some runs in most of the T20 games.
It's beautiful.
Look at that. Oh, thanks for coming, pal.
And look at that.
There we go.
Look at that celebration as well. All the boys running in. No, that's
yeah. It was
special stuff.
It was a dream start, to be honest. Like, I mean, you really want to get that first wicket in the first over. Really gets things moving. You know, gets the momentum on your side. So,
I mean, the support, the noise was. I mean, the goosebumps on the guys on the field was like epic. I can't tell you. There was families, there were friends, there was club guys, and the noise that reverberated around Newlands. You felt like you were playing a World Cup game. It was unreal. So I've got a big shout out to the supporters. It's made it even way more special than what we would have thought. It was a brilliant turnout. So big thank you to all the supporters from the club and beyond. Amazing.
Massive. And now looking at just how the game went, I mean, we managed to just limit the scoring. You were saying a bit earlier, just dot balls were key.
Yeah.
I mean, partnerships here, there weren't too many quick partnerships, if at all. All these partnerships went at best run a ball. So you guys, it comes back to what you're saying, just playing calculated, measured cricket in the final. Managing to obviously get the win. How was your bowling? Jeepers. How was your bowling stint? Let's take a look at this ball together.
Yeah, I think I tried to take someone's head off here. Or was this the wicket maybe?
You see, Dan, you got to keep it full like that, bro. You got to keep it full with the occasional bouncer. You must listen to Jacques Callis, dude. The top of four.
I just heard Elaine going, take his head off. So I was like, oh, okay.
Dan, I was actually sitting behind your mom and your dad, and your mom was commenting there that when Dan was younger, he was like really quick, and she said, Dan, please listen to me, just bowl on the stumps.
Yes, and yet I still struggle. Eh?
Well, I mean, you got the opening batsman out bowled, so I think you did listen. I mean, but how was the white ball?
A few times too.
How was the white ball? The Newlands pitch, the ball signing off the bat. It just must have been pure.
Well, first of all, I actually struggled with a few things bowling. One was with the ball. It was a bit, the seam was a bit greasy, so it really like slid out of the hand. So you'll probably see if you watch the game again. I kind of pulled out of one of my deliveries because also there's a bit of a hole that I was bowling in. The Western Province girls played before us, and there was a bit of a hole in the pitch where my front foot lands on the popping crease. So I kept landing in that. So I tried to bowl from wider to get more purchase. But for some reason, I kept finding the side of this little hole or finding my foot in. So yeah, I struggled a little bit and a couple of too many short deliveries. Even though that's my MO, that's probably my stock.
I mean, I didn't want to say it.
Well, I felt I bowled better. Yeah, I bowled better later on, which is normal for me because I'm 100 years old. So I only start warming up in over 2 or 3. So got my lines right, got my lengths a little bit better. But yeah, it was what a privilege.
Kenny, sorry to interrupt there, Dan. Kenny, what was going through your roommate's mind there? Hey, as we're seeing on screen there, a bit of words shared between him and the banner.
Yeah, I haven't spoken to him about that yet. I just gave him a bit of a lecture on his some bowling stuff he needs to rectify. So I gave him a bit of a lecture on that, and he was in full agreement with what I was saying. So didn't actually get information on why he was getting a bit angry with the guy. I'm not too sure what that sparked.
I just think it was just Newlands and Moggy fast bowler. So
and let's have a let's chat about the player of the final. Player of the final, Bryden. You said he had a very unlucky dismissal for his innings, but he managed 3 wickets for 26 runs. Obviously, managing to take 8 wickets in that Mitchell's Plain innings. So 3 of those wickets was a good showing. How did that go? I mean, he obviously bowled very well, but
I'm gonna have a hot take here, and I'm probably gonna get burnt very hard for this. Ooh. But my personal man of the match would have to go to Alex, to be completely honest.
I agree. I was just gonna say that. Remember what I said about the whole percentages?
Sorry, Brian. I didn't think this was going to go this way. Continue.
Not taking anything away from Bryden. The bowling partnership between Bryden and Alex was calculated.
It was phenomenal bowling,
and Bryden
in my mind. I thought Alex bowled fantastically well. He dried the runs up. I mean, how many did he go for the end? I'm not sure the exact stat.
15.
15.
I think 1 for 15 and 4.
Very good bowling.
There again.
And I mean, add that, and like you said as well. Sorry, Dan. Like you said as well earlier, that 13 runs at the end there got the momentum going in our favour. You know, it just shifted. It gave a nice little injection at the end there. Very good acceleration. Like I'm saying, nothing against Bryden. I thought Bryden bowled fantastically well, and like you said, I mean, terribly unlucky with the bat. That was a complete freak dismissal.
I think we're going to have to pull up Bryden's dismissal here because, player of the final. It is in the cards already. It's in the books. So come to Bryden, 3 wickets. Top, if not or close to the top run scorers in the club for this season. So another very good, strong showing from our first team captain.
Bryden's one of the top all-rounders, if not the top all-rounder in the club.
Yeah.
Like
I said, I'm taking nothing away from this performance, but I still just feel...
happened here. Okay, so we're watching Bryden's dismissal.
You're never going to see this again.
It's actually the second time it's happened, believe it or not.
Not in club cricket.
No, in club cricket.
Oh, really? But so look at that. One of the Mitchell Plain guys went up there saying, hard luck.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, this is great fun.
I mean, they keep, again, like I said, respect to Mitchell's Plain.
Yeah. Bang, off the foot.
No way. Oh, wow.
Look how long it carried
off the foot.
To cover.
So in actual fact, Dan, sorry, that has actually happened to us before against, I think it was Edgemead. I think, except we were the ones who got the wickets.
Okay.
So we had Arnu fielding at short cover, or at silly mid-off. And the guy... the guy smashed a drive, and it bounced off his leg, and then another guy by the name of Mark Freer took a diving catch in the covers to get rid of him. So
amazing. That's amazing. But as I said, it stands, it's in the books. Player of the top wicket taker, obviously in the game, and one of our leading all-rounders in the club, both in the wicket taking and run scoring column. So, I mean, we're going to go back to
that's what all-rounder is, Greg.
Thank you.
I've also got to mention Bryden's captaincy. We haven't talked much about his captaincy. On the day, very tactical, very clever stuff. Field positions. I mean, he didn't change an awful lot in the field. He got key players in key positions. I mean, so for instance, I don't think I was in the inner ring much. normally I sometimes squeeze in at cover or squeeze in at point sometimes, but we had our best fielders in their best positions. So like Aiden Carstens was at point. We had Calvin
Daniel,
either.
I'm listening to all this good cricket chat, but I'm just watching the screen and I'm just thinking to myself, what a special time for the boys to be on the field there. And just, I mean, picture bottom left of your screen, you've got Timmy G just barefoot on the field at this point in time, just taking in the boys with the dub, singing our Bergvliet anthem on the field. I mean, our name up in lights with a win by 19 runs. I mean, absolutely sensational. Kenny, both of us, we weren't obviously at the field, but I mean, what was going through your mind watching it on Pitch Vision with a Melville pudding in hand?
Yeah, I didn't have Melville pudding actually, but I should. But I mean, look, it was lump in my throat kind of stuff. I mean, just what a way to end the season, you know? I mean, what an absolutely incredibly phenomenal, I don't know what other adjectives to use, but just and I mean, and the thing is as well, I mean, it shows 2 to 3 years of hard graft, practice twice a week, matches every Saturday, you know, like this is just the summary of what the hard work of the last 2 to 3 years from everyone in that club, in this club that, you know.
Oh, GG.
Oh, there's the old slow poison. I mean, yeah, it's fantastic, to be honest. I mean, it's absolutely great for the entire club.
But then, Kenny, then it should be a shout out to guys we haven't mentioned who was there from the beginning. Tim Scholes, Adam Verwillig. I mean, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for those chaps.
Yeah, I would never give a shout out to Adam ever.
Well, and
I'm just joking.
That's a good point that you make, Kenny. Obviously, never giving a shout out to Adam. I'm joking, not that one. But it's a good point that you make in terms of just the last 2-3 years. I mean, we've got COVID, and for the boys to have stayed connected, stayed together, shows a lot of testament to that man on screen, Tim Scholes, to Adam van Villen, behind the scenes, director of cricket, chairman, club captain Lloyd, who, tireless work behind the scenes, keeping the boys connected. We've also got guys on screen here, obviously Marci, Tim, Daniel, Kenny and myself connected virtually this season, making it almost felt like the 11 on screen right now should have been 44 plus, because I think a lot of this, the first team's exploits and successes this season, it really is felt from the ones down to the fours. I know. Obviously, the twos did have won their league as well, and that's which Miracle Men, and they've always been strong, and it's just all the success in the club is just it's goose. It's just goose pimple stuff. It's really good.
Just out of interest, Marci and Tim, how many practices did you guys miss in this last season?
Not much.
I've been each and every practice. It's just, I think 2 weeks ago I couldn't make one Tuesday. But
I mean, Marci, we're talking about one Tuesday here. It makes Kenny's point. I mean, just the dedication. I mean, to have 4 teams, to not have to call on the nephews and the 12-year-olds and the Kirstenhoff and the 12s at this part of the season, and shows the strength of the club at the moment. Yeah, go ahead, Kenny.
And I mean, take no offense to this Tim G or Marci, but I mean, you guys are playing mainly Titans, either joke team kind of thing. And I mean, no offense by that at all, but you know what I mean? It's like, and yet you guys are at every single practice, which just shows the dedication is not just for the ones, it's for the whole club, right? It's not, you know, it's when Greg, when you say it's the tip of the spear, you're 100% right. It's yes, there's only 11 people that can make the ones, and maybe some of the guys in this club haven't got the ability to make ones. I don't know if they can or can't, but I think it's so great to just take a step back and just realize the dedication that people have in this club to cricket and to the club itself. I mean, it's not just the ones who've got the dedication, right? It's all the teams, every single person who's playing has got that kind of dedication. I mean, the few practices I went to, I mean, they were packed. They were heaving. Those nets, I think we had all 5 nets running at a couple of practices I did attend. And I mean, I'm assuming.
Kenny, it's not just also the practices. Tim and Marci here, if they're playing home or away, they're back at the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Often I'll rock up or I'll see a video or something. I mean, I was always at the clubhouse, but those two have always gone back.
I would say that Tim might just get confused between his house and the club. So that might just be an issue. I mean, it's just across the road. No, but unbelievable scenes. I mean, you can see us. We still got the Newlands glow all about us. I mean, maybe a bit of perspiration on the top of my head, maybe, but that's the Newlands glow. I'm going to go with that. So, boys, I mean, let's wrap it up. Absolute unbelievable day, unbelievable season. What are you guys looking forward to for next season? Are you guys going to be back at the club? What are your plans for next season? We'll start with you, Tim.
Oh, definitely coming back. This is home now.
Lovely.
Well, yeah,
it is.
You know which home I'm talking about.
Marci, another season from you with the Red Ball Maestro.
Yes, definitely. I will be back. I've told scouts that I'm available to play higher as well. That's why I'm committed to practices and things. But it's not only that. I want to be an inspiration to the youngsters as well. That despite your age, if you put your mind to it and the passion for the game. If you apply it, you can still play into your 50s and stuff. And I mean, I'm a bowler. I'm not just a batsman. Batsmen can go longer than bowlers. But yeah, I'll definitely be back.
Awesome, Daniel.
Yeah, my situation is a little bit more complicated. I'm supposed to be immigrating, so I'm busy waiting for my citizenship. And then I can apply for my passport. So I'm in limbo at this stage. So I could very well be playing next season.
So potentially your last BCC time out there, potentially, just depending. As you say, you're in limbo, and I mean, if the writing's in the stars and that was your last time, I don't see you changing
hopefully not. I mean, certainly probably for this upcoming season. But I've been chatting to my lovely partner, and there's a couple of club guys who are willing to put me up. So maybe the following season. But this club's major in my life. It's changed how I look at cricket, how I look at club cricket. BCC all the way.
Amazing. Kenny, on your road to mental health, how are you looking for next season? How are you doing as well?
I'm hoping to make it next season. If anything, actually, I might use a stepping stone as going into more of a coaching role. So try use some of the. So it's not just time wasted watching so much cricket in my life. Maybe I can impart some knowledge onto some people and stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to maybe doing a bit of coaching and stuff next season. Maybe get a game or two in. We'll have to see how things go. But definitely hoping to be around the club a lot more often in the upcoming season. So
awesome. My involvement next season, I will be in South Africa November and December. So I will look to get a few caps under the belt for the 23-24 season.
Light that Titans flame.
Lovely.
Get him in yellow.
Don't let the Titans get hot. I promise you. I'm the third name on the team sheet after Marci, Timmy G. I'm the third name. I'm even before Timmy S. So no, don't let the Titans get hot. I'm looking forward to it. I'm pumped. Safe to say.
All I'm going to say there, Greg. Sorry. All I'm going to say is that if you and Elaine open the batting together, God help the other team, because that is going to be disgusting.
Yeah.
Good.
Absolute amazing seats.
Okay, sorry guys,
Let's
I'm gonna
call it
I'm
there. We'll.
Sorry guys.
Well done, boys. Fantastic. What an amazing season. What a time to be a Bergvliet player. What a time to be a Bergvliet supporter. And onwards and upwards for each of us, and onwards and upwards for the club. Up the mighty BCC.
Yes.